What up, though? This is your boy Double R the Star. Bring you another crazy radio show. Stay tuned, people. It's going to tell.
Yeah. I like that.
Me too.
Yeah, what's up, boy? This is your boy Double R the Star. And what you just heard is my first DJ, I guess you could say, intro that I made here on GarageBand using the GarageBand software. Shout out to DJ Chumpadus from YouTube, who basically, man, walked me through this process. Without him, I don't know what I would have did, but I enjoyed it, man. It was rather easy to do, you know what I'm saying? So instead of paying for somebody to come in here and do some stuff on some software that I already had standard on my Mac computer, I figured it out by myself. So I consider that a accomplishment. So shout out to that boy DJ Chumpadus, DJ out there in LA. Look him up if you're looking for a party. He does really good stuff. He does really nice tutorials on YouTube, just like so many other people that I've watched as I was trying to start this podcast. So this is my first podcast, and it's really not my first one. I just wanted to kind of do an introductory and just kind of let you know the process leading up to my first podcast. So I started doing this not very long ago. Probably was about 2-3 months ago that I really started getting serious with setting up a podcast, because people said that I felt like I should do a podcast. Just because I'm involved in so many different business endeavors that a lot of people, that we have conversations all the time, and people, they feel like they get valuable information as well as I get a lot of good information from this, and this is free. And when I'm saying this, I mean your voice. You know what I'm saying? Your voice is free. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge that you have in your head is free to share with anybody else. You don't have to go to a university. I didn't learn any of this stuff from going through the university, although I did go to college. But all this stuff that I'm doing here on the side, this is just me, and the people that I've had the pleasure of running into and meeting on YouTube and, physically meeting and just networking, you know what I'm saying? But I started this process about 3 months ago. I came up with the idea of just doing a podcast where I was able to conversate on and talk about some of the experiences. I got a lot of my good friends. They're going to help me out with this. You'll see them. They're going to be guest starring on this podcast. It's just the Double R the Star radio show. You know what I'm saying? Simply that. I'm Double R the Star. I'm going to have a lot of females, a lot of males. My wife, she's going to get on here. She's going to speak her piece and just let you know some of the things about that we go through, as a couple. And when I say couple, I'm meaning an interracial couple. I'm African American and she's Indian, but she's from South Africa. So I guess she's more black than I am. But anyway, yeah, she's Indian. And it comes with that, with being an interracial couple and not being a traditional interracial couple that so many people may be used to, which is the black and white couple, but that's real old school, early on in the United States, that type of stereotype. But as you look around today, you see so many different people who are so many different mixes, and it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. God put us on this earth to multiply. You know what I'm saying? That ain't necessarily meaning that you got to stay with your race. I don't get upset about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what, who you fall in love with. Nobody can tell you who you fall in love with. So, we'll be talking about that as we go on in the show. I also got a lot of my friends that I went to school with. My boy Spoon Nagoon, he's going to be showing up on the radio show. Y'all going to love him. I got a lot of military cats that I was in the military with. They're going to be, guest starring on the show, talking about some of the experiences that we went through in the military. And they're all different types of colors, genders, nationalities, whatever you want to label it. It just goes on and on. So there is no standard, radio show. This isn't a standard radio show. If you're looking for that, I'm sorry. This is not going to be what you're into. But a little background about me. I'm from California, Fairfield, California. It's in the Bay Area. I went to school, I graduated, all that good stuff, barely, but I graduated. And about a year after graduation, I decided to join the military. So I went to the military, basic training. I was a 19 kilo, which is a tanker. Anybody out there that's familiar with the military MOSs, I was a tanker. And my first duty assignment was over here in Germany, where I'm at right now with the wife. She's in the Air Force. So shout out to all my military soldiers, man. Hats off to y'all. Y'all do some impossible things that people will never know. You know what I'm saying? You can only tell them so much, but until you experience it, you'll never really get the real experience of that. So hats off to all military soldiers, man. I salute you, past and present. But yeah, so I came over here to Germany. I was stationed here for about 2 years before the war started. We went over there during the initial invasion. I was over there, you know what I'm saying? Fortunately enough, I didn't have to spend the whole 15 months over there. Right when I was over there, I got a break and got to re-enlist and got up out of there after doing about 10 months. But initial invasion. So we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so I came to Kentucky, where I met a lot of the guys that you're gonna be seeing on this radio show or hearing on this radio show, either or, because I plan on videotaping some of this too. So and posting it up on the YouTube channel. But yeah. So I got to Kentucky, where I spent some time at. I met my ex-wife there, and then I went to Korea. Long story short, I was in the military for 10 years. I actually got medically chaptered out or medically retired out, however you want to say it. Well, there is a big difference for y'all military cats, so y'all know what's up. So I got out of the military after 10 years, and I wasn't really sure what to do with my life. You know what I'm saying? I spent 5 years as a 19 kilo, which is a tanker, and I spent another 5 years almost as a 19 Delta, which is a Cav Scout. So those are combat MOSs, if you're not familiar with that. That means that those are the guys that you see, on the front lines and doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? So not a lot of, skills there's a lot of skills that you collect as those MOSs, but it's not a lot of transferable skills that you can one can take from the military and transfer that into the civilian world, unless you're going to be somebody's security guard, and I'm not down with that. I'm not down with protecting somebody else's, industry or whatever. Shout out to all the security guards who do that, but I just wanted to do something different with my life, so I went to school. I went to school for about 2 years, where I got a degree in computer networking administration. And I didn't do very much with that. So nothing at all. I guess you can kind of say it kind of helped with just understanding when I'm looking at YouTube videos and I'm trying to, I'm jailbreaking phones, or I'm, trying to, create a program or something like that to get accepted into Apple. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of different business adventures or endeavors, if you want to call it that. And I'll be talking about those too as we get on the show. But anyway, so my degree really didn't help me out. I ended up, fortunately enough, getting a job working as a trainer instructor for the United States military, where I went around and I trained soldiers on different, body armor, weapons, lasers, anything dealing with soldier protective individual equipment. So I got to continue being around the people that I enjoyed being around most, which is the soldiers. And it was a great humbling experience for me to be on that other side and you know what I'm saying, getting to be a different civilian and showing them their respect, because as a soldier, you don't really get you don't feel like you get a lot of respect as being a soldier, because once you take that uniform off, you're just a regular person again. And I found that out the hard way. I made 7 and 7, so I was a E7, Sergeant First Class, when I got out. And, you go from a transition where you're in charge, you're the boss, until, being nobody, being a regular person. I'm not going to say nobody because, I never was, a nobody. I'm never going to be a nobody. I'm always going to be somebody. I'm going to be a father, a friend, a husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always going to be something. But, going from that power of being a Sergeant First Class in the United States Army to having to start from the bottom, and also in that transition having to figure out who I was as a person, and what I enjoy doing, because I spent 10 years in the military doing what the military enjoyed doing, and I enjoyed doing it while I was in the military. But when you get out of the military, you have to make that transition into finding who you are. And I used to, with my last job, I used to tell a lot of soldiers that hey, everybody wants to get out of the military, when they're in. A lot of people, they stay in for that 20 years, and a lot of people stay in there for that 20 years for several different reasons. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew before I joined the military, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to move to Los Angeles, and I wanted to start my acting career, but through, different situations that I probably will open up and talk to you guys about later on, my life went a different route, and I was put into a position where I could either go to the military or do some other things. So I decided to go to the military. But, that passion had never left my heart. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to do that. On some aspect. And I did plays when I was in, church. I did church plays. I did church. I helped write different church plays. And I also, did a couple of, side acting jobs where, I would go to rehearsal and we would, then the production would get canceled or something like that. So I did several of those, but it never really went anywhere. And I knew that I enjoyed doing that. Like I enjoyed doing that more than hanging out with my friends or, talking to girls or going to the mall. You know what I'm saying? Like anything, that, you would do as a teenager. I enjoyed acting more than that. So the passion had never left me at all. But, being 10 years in the military and then getting out and then trying to start that, and you have, have an ex-wife, you have 3 kids, what I'm saying? It's hard to start your life when you're trying to focus your attention on your children, because that's where it's all about. Once you have kids, it's like, hey, never forget who you are and what you want to do with your life. But at the same time, you gotta teach them and mold them to, go out and do the things that they want to do and pay attention to the things that they're interested in and the things that they have, different struggles with, and help and challenge them to overcome those different obstacles in life. That's what being a parent is all about, in my opinion. And like I said, we'll talk about my kids and their crazy butts later on in the show, but or on a different show. But so I had talked to a lot of my friends, and, they've always told me that, I had the gift of gab, and I could, I'm saying, kind of a chameleon. I can go anywhere. They can take me anywhere around anybody. And I could always, find my place or control the room. So I started I started thinking about perhaps becoming a stand-up comedian, because, people would tell me I was funny. I felt like I was funny. I still feel like I'm funny. You might not know it because it's your first time tuning in, but you'll see as it goes along in the show. And I didn't do it. I still haven't done it. I still haven't got on stage. And somebody told me, this older cat, he told me a long time ago. Well, not even a long time ago. It was like maybe 2 years ago. He told me that if you don't do something today, you'll be a year older when you do it. And that quote has stuck with me since I've heard it, and I've shared it with other people, and it really makes sense. Because if we walk around and we say, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do that. You might even have a small to-do list, as far as getting groceries or picking something up or buying some shirt or going to some concert or whatever it is. But you have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to just go ahead and do it. That's one thing that my wife has taught me, is to stop being a procrastinator. When she was over in Germany and I was in the States, I would look at tickets, and tickets would be like $500, give or take $500. And I'll be like, oh, babe, tickets are $500. And she's like, buy it. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm going to get it. But I was waiting because I'm so used to, taking that parent role when I was with my ex-wife. and thinking about my daughter's like, oh, you know, let me wait because my daughter might need this, or my mom might need help with this, or you know what I'm saying? I was so worried about focusing on everybody else's what ifs that I started missing my own opportunities. And that same ticket went from $500 to like $900 in a matter of weeks. You know what I'm saying? So something small as that with procrastinating, and I'm sure a lot of you can probably feel me on that, can really have an impact on your life. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you get depressed, like, oh man, I had the 500 but I don't have 900, so now I gotta wait till I get the 900. And what if it's, when I get the money for 900, what if it's more than 900, then I gotta wait again. So that little lesson that my wife told me about stop procrastinating, that's why I created this show. I went and stopped BSing, and I went and bought the mixer. I went and bought the mic stands. I went and bought the mics. I went and bought the headphones, everything that I felt like I needed to be successful with, a podcast that, would produce good quality, but at the same time, make me feel like, okay, I've spent this money. Now I have to do something with it, or else wifey's going to get mad at me. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, but I spent all this money. I walk into my computer room and I look at this stuff every day. And if it's not getting used, then what was the point of me getting this? And I feel good. I've learned so much from watching YouTube videos from people showing you how to set up podcasts, and it's free. I mean, other than the equipment that you have to buy to make it sound quality and make it feel like you're actually at work doing something. Other than that, there's not too much to it. You could record off of your iPhone, and I'll be doing videos and showing you alternative ways where you can actually do the same thing that I'm doing, because what is this world without sharing your knowledge? You know what I'm saying? What are you really producing? If you're not trying to help people, then why are you even doing anything? And I'm not the all religious man, but I do believe that, you know what I'm saying, if your brother knows something and he doesn't tell you, then he's going to be less successful than he's trying to be, because knowledge is power, and you need a team. You need a supportive team. And we'll talk about that too. We'll talk about all these things that I'm talking about in different episodes of this podcast. But anyway, so I started this podcast, and like I said, I've been doing it for about 2 months now, just setting everything up. And this is my first, live recording of the show. I just actually completed the drop that you hear in the beginning of the show, and I feel comfortable with it. I may change a little bit of it, but the dynamic of it is probably going to stay the same. I like the energy that it brings. It kind of grabs your attention, I feel. And if you feel like it doesn't, or if it's too like something, I'm all for, positive feedback. And if you have anything bad to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, haters are going to hate. So I already know that, you know what I mean? I'm not expecting this to be golden, but at the same time, if it ain't constructive criticism, then, I got thick skin. I was in the military for 10 years. I done had my ass chewed by professional ass chewers. So there ain't too much that you're going to say, to get underneath my skin. You might get embarrassed because I do have jokes, but I'm not out to do any of that. I'm just out to, have fun with this. Share my knowledge, hopefully gain some knowledge from the listeners, and hopefully we can all, do what we want to do in life, because that's what it's all about. Life's too short to be sitting around talking about, if I only did this, if I only started this, if I only could do this, I should have done this. You know what I'm saying? So get all the shoulda, woulda, couldas all out of your system, and let's grow as people, and let's get this thing popping. This is your boy Double R the Star, and I'm going to be bringing you more radio, more talk, some videos. You can follow me on IG at DR5 TARIJS, or you can follow me on Twitter at double_RR5 TAR. It's your boy Double R the Star signing off for your radio. Thank you for listening. Peace.
What up, though? This is your boy Double R the Star. Bring you another crazy radio show. Stay tuned, people. It's going down.
Yeah. I like that.
Me too.